What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of East Side Flat. I'm Eric G, and today we will be talking about a new change in the MLB that I personally think is very weird, strange, and kind of stupid. Um, you can let me know your opinion in the comments below, but I'm going to explain kind of my reasoning um, for why I think it's dumb and kind of go into some of my personal experience. And what I've kind of seen and just in the small change that literally is just coming out right now. But I definitely think that I have been seeing it. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. And it was kind of crazy because I was watching the game tonight with my dad. Obviously, Warriors got the dub. Sorry, Bobby. Yeah, we had to end your 22 hit streak. I'm sorry, man. Like we needed to win, man. We 13-18. Like, come on, y'all can, you know, y'all will probably win at least one game in this series and be fine. So, um, yeah, we won 3-0. It was a great game for the Orioles. Finally look like a team again. Looks like we finally learned how to play baseball. So it's been saying that a bunch. Uh, so yeah, I mean, we're watching the broadcast, and I looked over to my dad. We get the volume low, and Ben McDonald's got this like scorecard or piece of paper. He's got a baseball, and he's like, you know, and normally if it hits here, and I'm like, what is going on? And they're talking about this new MLB strike zone. It's a buffer zone. I have an article pulled up here that I'm gonna show y'all. It's talking about this buffer zone. And I'm not gonna lie, like when I was watching some of the games on TV, I noticed that man, pitchers were just not getting strikes, especially especially in that third Yankee game. I was like, that ball is on in the box. It's in the box and it's not a strike. And I'm wondering why. I'm like, what? Like, no way you that blind. Like, come on. And so then Ben McDonald was talking about this, and I was like, this is stupid. So let me explain basically what has happened. Um, so basically they are shrinking the strike zone. The MLB has decided to shrink the strike zone. Why I don't actually know. I think it's more of a reflection on the umpires, so the umpires get more correct calls. That's what this article is saying. Other people, from what I've seen, are saying like, oh yeah, it's about they want to uh, increase hitting, and so if they make pitchers throw the ball more over the plate, they're gonna get more hits, which I don't think is true at all. Like if you are a batter, right, and you come up to the plate, big situation. Let's run around second, one out. What do you think you're gonna do? The strike zone is smaller. You're not gonna be chasing. It's gonna draw more walks. I feel like the amount of walks that we see are gonna go up, which could generate more offense because more guys are getting on. But like, if you want more offense, just juice the balls, bro. Like, real talk, just juice the balls. Like, if you want, if that's the case, I don't think that's the case, but I saw people saying that. I'm like, that's not the way to go about it. But this seems crazy to me, and I'll explain why. The strike zone has gone from home plate umpires having a 2 inch what they call buffer zone. So that's like known as the black, which is the outside parts of the plate. So you got 2 inches, which is a lot, I will say. But it entices hitters to swing, to try to get more balls in play, more hits. Like, and a lot of guys are really good and he can go outside the zone and hit home runs. The amount of times last year I saw guys go up the and hit balls out of the park, like it was awesome seeing guys go low when sometimes that is the most like entertaining thing. Seeing Kyle Schwarber just one hand balls that are like in the dirt and it's a home run. Like we want to see hitters swing more. 2 inches I think is a little much, but they went from 2 inches to 3/4 of an inch. So basically, if the ball is touching the corner, scrapes the corner of the strike zone, that's probably not gonna get you're not gonna get that call because it's 3/4 of an inch. So pitchers are gonna have to be so pinpoint, and it's gonna be a lot more pressure to throw strikes, which, you know, hitting is really difficult. So is pitching. Like, to the stuff that goes into pitching is just as difficult as hitting, in my opinion. Like, they're both equally as hard. Like, obviously, hitting, there's the reaction time, identifying the spin, and all of that, and it happens in a split second. But pitching is such a mind game. You gotta, you know, understand tunneling, understand how your pitches are moving. Like, it's difficult. So you just made pitching a whole lot more difficult. It's just outrageous. Like, I don't understand why they would do this. And this is the interesting part. They said the strike zone has not changed, and we have not instructed umpires to call a different strike zone. But all you're doing is judging them more strictly. Oh, I get that, but can't you just judge them more strictly without changing this? Because it's going to force them to make tighter calls. You're basically now squeezing all your pitchers. In response to consistent player and club desire to have umpires evaluated more closely to the rulebook strike zone, we agreed with the MLB Umpires Association in their new CBA to reduce the size of the buffer around the border of the strike zone, which essentially protects an umpire from being graded incorrect or on extremely close misses. Now, the effects are somewhat being seen as overall correct call percentage through the start of the season is at 88.2%, the most accurate since the StatCast began. So it's effective. Here's my problem with this. The players didn't even know. An umpire asked, what do you think of the new strike zone? To one catcher, which this right here completely, new strike zone completely takes away from the previous statement of not changing the strike zone. They said previously that it's not changing the strike zone. They're not instructing umpires to change the strike zone. Yet this guy just said, hey, how you feel about the new strike zone? So already, is this really not affecting people? It clearly is. But they don't really know, they're not seeing a new strike zone. But they said they had no recollection of MLB alerting them to the change. How dumb do you have to be to put something into place and not tell your players, not tell your managers, not tell the organization that you run? What? I know I've been rambling for a little bit, but like, what are we doing? You should be telling people about this. They weren't necessarily not, like, purposely not informed, but you gotta tell them. Because this is very true. They would like to know about it so they could have an approach to the advantages and disadvantages of it going into the season. So you basically put your players in a situation where they don't really know what the game is. You're like, oh, we'll guinea pig it. You might as well put the ABS challenge system. Why would you do this new thing for umpires and not put what you used in spring training? It was effective with spring training. They're like, nah, we're going to do this whole new thing that umpires who are humans have to change. MLB, how dumb are you? Real talk. This is stupid. You change the buffer zone for them to be more accurate. You want your umpires to be more accurate, you use an ABS system. That's what you do. That's where you're headed. So why are you suddenly changing things middle of the season? It makes no sense. Like, I get you trying to get umpires to be more accurate. This ain't the way. And it is very dumb. And that's my opinion. I think it's stupid because if you were gonna do this, just do the automated balls and strikes, man. Just do the challenge system, pat on your head, let the pitchers challenge, catchers challenge, so that in these key situations we get these calls right. Like, I don't understand this buffer zone. It's still human error. Like, I don't get it. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's out of pocket. And what does it do for the game? You're squeezing pitchers, man. You're not gonna promote hitting. Guys are gonna be walk rates. I feel like are gonna go up. You're gonna have pitchers real pissed off because now a near miss. If you're throwing, think about it this way: if you're throwing for that zone, right, the 2 inch buffer zone, if you miss to the right or to the left of your zone, so you miss to the inside of where you're trying to go, then it's still a strike, but it's not a home run ball. You take away that and you miss by an inch, but you're right on the plate. How many times do we see the Yankees hit home runs off that? How many times do MLB players hit home runs when the ball is literally on the plate, not dotted? Like, that's the whole point, is you're supposed to dot pitches so that it's harder for the hitter. These MLB hitters are fantastic. These guys make you pay. And I don't understand why we're making it harder for the pitchers when hitters should just expand their zone and go for these pitches. A lot of these guys can hit them and hit them well. Now, I understand that hitting is absolutely ridiculously hard. I've been watching the 2025 Orioles. Like, I've seen it all. So you don't gotta tell me twice about that. But I just think we're discrediting the really good hitters. And you're just gonna see guys that aren't necessarily that good take a lot of walks. Because they're gonna be like, oh, that's barely off the edge. That's not gonna be called a strike because it's a human behind it. Hopefully the umpires don't overdo this. Hopefully they stick to some of their zones. But I've been already seeing pitchers get squeezed in tough situations. And sometimes you need that call. And let's be real, we all love young umpires. It's a beautiful thing. You got the NBA. I've been watching the NBA playoffs, and you got full arenas yelling, "Refs, you suck." You know how awesome that is? Like, a part of the game is part of being a fan is getting mad at the umpire when something doesn't go your way and using that as an excuse. That's a part of being a fan. So when you're not getting those calls, it is gonna still, you're still gonna have that. But it's a different kind of thing. I can be like, you're blind, that's a foot outside. That's a better heckle than, bro, that was on the plate and you didn't call it. Oh, but there's a buffer zone, so we're shrinking. That's gotta be even more plate. Like, it's just gonna be so tic-tac. Like, if you wanted more of the story, let me end this rant. I've been talking crazy for the last 13 minutes. But I'm just letting my opinions go. Let your opinions go down in the comments. The moral of the story is, if you wanted to be more accurate about calls, you should have put the ABS system. And they did. And that's why I think the MLB is stupid. And I feel like we'll see how this plays out. But it, to me, just feels very weird and dumb to do and not really tell your players. And it just misses the mark for me. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Hopefully we'll have some good Orioles news. If you're an Orioles fan, subscribe. If you like the content, subscribe. Yeah, I'm excited to keep putting these videos out. And, soon we're gonna be doing Ravens and Orioles content. Hopefully, well into October. I'm delusional, and I think the Orioles are gonna win the AL East. But either way, thank you for watching. If you're not following, hit that follow button. We're gonna see y'all in the next one.